Hey, what's up, everyone? Today we are going to go over Paid Workshops 101. And this is a strategy that any service provider or network marketer can use as an additional income stream on top of their core offers, and also to help you to make sales on your core offer. And so, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk through when would you do a paid workshop? When would you do a free webinar or a free workshop? I'm going to walk you through the implementation timeline, how to choose a good topic for your workshop, and then also when to post, what to post, slash email. And I think that'll be a good enough to get you started. If you want more details on every single step, the how-tos, templates, examples, etc., on implementing your paid workshop, go ahead and comment below workshop, because we do have a workshop on workshops that will walk you through all of the details behind all of the things I'm going to go over for you today. If you would like to work with us privately in our group or hybrid one-on-one slash group program, what to say so people buy, go ahead and just say coaching below, and then we can actually work with you on implementing the strategy and where does it go in your specific business. All right, let's go ahead and jump in here and talk about. I'm going to draw here on my iPad, and we're going to walk through free versus paid. Okay. So over here, we have free and then paid workshops. So when does it make sense to do a free one? When does it make sense to do a paid one? And then I'll walk you through just some really practical examples from our business on when this has made a lot of sense. Okay, so we're going to do a free event when we want more eyeballs on core offer, right? Because more people are going to come to a free thing than a paid thing. And so if the goal is a core offer and you want to get people to see that, then we want more people there. We want to get in front of someone else's audience, right? So again, we want as many eyeballs as possible. We want to eliminate barriers for people to see how awesome you are. And overall, your number one focus is a core offer, right? As many eyeballs as possible. Now, when do we want to do a paid workshop? When we really want to do a deep dive into a specific topic. So often a free something is not going to be a full, like real deep dive into it, just because of the time that it takes to do that, and so on and so forth. So we're going to do a deep dive. You want money right now, right? So this is, cash in the account. You want to test topics for bigger programs. You want to convert non-buyers and turn them into buyers, because sometimes the core program, right, is like a big thing, right? And so some people want to buy a little bit in order to buy more later. So if you're trying to take people who have never bought anything from you, they can spend between $17 and $97, depending on your business, on a workshop, not feel like that's so much of a barrier, and kind of, test out the situation. If you want to diversify income stream in your business. And then there are things that your audience needs to know. Like they need this, and it's not in your core offer. So if you want to add it to your core offer, like if you're in a knowledge business, it makes sense to get paid to create this. And so these are the different, the rationale behind free versus paid. There isn't one that is better than another. They just really have different purposes. And so understanding what the purpose of your event is going to be is very important. You will also probably get more people to invite to like a free than a paid, although sometimes that shifts as well. What you can do if you're like, but I want all of those things, is you can do what we've done. We've always had a mix of free and paid stuff, depending on what our focuses on were that particular quarter in our business. And so we have done, we look at this, we look at all of our calendaring from a quarterly perspective. And so we might do, we've had times where we've done 2 free for the core offer and then 1 paid for a cash infusion. That has worked pretty well. We can also do the opposite. We can do 1 free and 2 paid. Back last year, so the 66,000 a year, I think it was, I don't know, it was like almost 20% of our revenue, 17% or something, came when we were doing this, 2 free, 1 paid. Last year, when we realized we needed to expand our target market and we needed to build a core offer, we had to do that. We had no core offer. So instead of like making 0 sales while we built our core offer, we actually did paid workshops every single month and sold one-on-one coaching on the back of it because we didn't actually have a core offer. So free things would not have helped anyone, right? It wouldn't have helped them. It wouldn't have helped us. And so we did, I think, like 7 months straight of paid workshops. This is not our strategy for this upcoming year because we did those 7 workshops and now we're focusing on our core offer. And so we are doing more free things. And so really deciding if it's free or paid has to do with where are you in your business? What is your objective? And what makes sense for your audience. And so I wanted to start with what's the difference between free and paid so you know when to do what. Now, regardless of whether or not you or we are doing free or paid, the implementation timeline is relatively similar. If you're doing something that's free, it's going to be 1 week less of prep. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk you through the implementation timeline. Just so you have an idea of how long does this take. So sometimes, right, like I remember talking to my friend Jenna at dinner one day, and I was telling her what was happening with our paid workshops. And so literally she like launched a paid workshop. It was a Friday night. She launched a paid workshop that Monday and then ran it on Thursday and I think made like $8,000. Sometimes that happens, but for people like me, I like to be a little bit more thoughtful with it, and I've got a lot of other things that I'm juggling in my business where I'm not in a position to just really, really like spend 3 days straight on this. And so this is the way we look at our implementation timeline. The first week, we're going to plan and prepare. So this is stuff like picking the topic, writing the agenda, all of the stuff that we're going to need in order to sell it. The second week, we're going to set up and start marketing. And so what I mean by this is like this is when I'm going to make the sales page because I've like kind of made a loose agenda on week 1. So I'll make the sales page, I'll plan out the social media posts that I want to make. I don't have to make them all then, but I can look at what all of those things are. Make the coupon for the early bird, like just all those pieces that are necessary for me to run the workshop. The third week, I'm going to start the early bird promotion. And that's what I'm going to post and do outreach and email. And then the fourth week, I'm going to do the last chance sequence, right? I'm going to deliver the thing. And then I'm going to do some follow-up with attendees and to see about whatever the offer that I'm giving at that particular workshop. I am going to talk to them and see if that's something that they want to do. Now some of these can be squished a little bit, right? Like if you really wanted to, you could squish these to put them into 1 week if you have a little bit more time. But we usually do a 2-week promotion when it comes to actually selling the workshop. 1 week of early bird, 1 week of last chance. That's really worked out well for us. Sometimes we can squish that. We can make it 10 days. It's like 4 days of early bird and then 6 days of the last chance. But we really want to split it into early bird and last chance. That really, really helps a lot. So that's how we do the implementation timeline. The next thing I want to talk about which is super important, is how do we choose a good topic? And so I'm gonna walk through some things that I think about when looking at a topic, and then just how do we test that particular topic, so we make sure that we don't have workshops that are flops. I have had workshops that have flopped. I remember once, so we have pretty consistently like 11 to 13,000 people on our email list. And I was like, I'm gonna teach our clients how to mentor people. That's gonna be great. I get a lot of questions on it. And I didn't go through this process that I am gonna go through with you now. And out of 11,000 people or 12,000 people, we sold 4 workshops. That is not a good percentage. And it totally flopped. And I realized later it's because we didn't do the steps I'm about to walk you through. And which is like, how do we choose a topic? And then also uh, the yes test, which I'm going to walk you through. So here are some considerations when it comes to what makes a good topic. So number one, it's something they already want. So they desire it without you convincing them. If you have to spend time explaining why they want the workshop, then it's not the right workshop. It probably just goes in your core offer. So an example of this is, well, this mentoring thing, right? What we knew is that when we were coaching network marketers is that they were not actually recruiting people because they were afraid of how to mentor them. And so we knew that this was a huge need. But the thing is they didn't know it was a huge need. They were like, why would I come to a mentoring workshop if I don't have people to mentor? Now, I knew if they learned how to mentor, they would be more confident in bringing people in. But they didn't get that. And so that's one of the reasons that workshop was a huge miss. Conversely, whenever we run a social media workshop, most people know that they are struggling with social media engagement. It's frustrating the crap out of them and they need to be good at it. And so when we run social media branding and engagement, they're like, oh, yes, I know I need that. And it's a lot easier, right? It's really meeting people where they're at. The second thing is it helps them to solve an actual problem. So when we're doing a paid workshop, we're not doing an overview. Some people in the industry will teach people to say, teach them the what, not the how. This is actually a smaller, narrower topic where we actually teach the how so they can actually get a result. And that's the next thing. It's got to be small enough in scope that you can fully go through it in a workshop. So if we take this concept of social media, there's so many parts to social media workshops. And ideally, like when you're starting workshops, you want to do an hour and a half is ideal. We have done 3-hour workshops, and I think it's for business coaching, it's just really hard to really get the detail that I want to give to our clients in that short workshop for the implementation, because we teach everybody what to say, right? So we've got a lot of scripts. And that's hard to do in an hour and a half. But generally, it's small enough in scope where you can go through it in a workshop. And so if we look at social media, there's so many things. If we just look at Facebook, we have Facebook, how to set up your profile. We have Facebook, how to write posts on your personal page, posts in your group. We have messaging. We have growing your friends list, growing your Facebook group. These are all their own, in my world, 3-hour workshop topics. And so I'm not going to cover like everything you need to know about social media because it's not true. It's not small enough in scope. And so what we did, what we typically do for our workshops is we cover branding, like let's clean up the profile, and then just how to get engagement on posts. And if we can just do that on a couple of posts, then it's going to help people to actually get a result and small enough in scope that I can do that in a workshop. The fourth thing that makes a good topic is it gives them an easy button. It's like, just makes it easier and faster for them to do the thing they already know they want to do. And so it shortcuts the learning curve for them. And the fifth thing that makes it a good topic, and this is like ideally, and sometimes this is not going to work exactly. If all you're looking for is a cash infusion, it may not make sense. But if they like this workshop, they will also like your core offer. That makes a good workshop topic. So let me just go ahead and review those really, really quickly. Something they want, helps them solve a problem, small enough in scope, you can cover it through in one workshop, an easy button, shortcuts the learning curve, and if they like this workshop, they'll also like your core offer. Now, you might be watching this and you're like, I have an idea for a workshop, and I just don't want you to make the same mistake I did with my flop workshop. I want you to do a yes test. So, what is a yes test? A yes test, and this is these examples are in the workshop on workshops workbook. So if you want to get the actual workshop that we did on how to run workshops, just say workshop below, and you'll be able to get this workbook with all of the different examples. And so this yes test is basically, you can do this on social media. You can also send it out through email. And you can also send this via messenger, like in text. Right? One way, like let's say you have a bunch of different workshop ideas. We can say, I have 3 workshop ideas. We're going to do the price so people know, like, oh, I need to pay for this, which is most interesting to you. We can do a post that's like, I'm thinking about running a virtual workshop. How to whatever, it's this amount of money. Are you in? We'll see how many people are in. If I ran a workshop on such and such topic, would that be helpful? So here's a real example. We ran a workshop on recruiting business owners. This is when we're for the business on Coaching Network Marketers. We're like, if we ran a workshop on recruiting business owners, that'd be helpful. Say yes. And we got so many yeses. I was like, this is going to be great. And it was great. It was our highest revenue workshop of the year, the particular year we ran it. And what's also really cool about the yes test is that for our potential clients on their side, when they say yes, that would be helpful. It activates a consistency principle of influence, which is when you make a small public commitment, you're more likely to make a larger commitment in the future. So that's just the fact that they said yes. This topic would be helpful, makes them more likely to buy, even if it was already something that they were interested in. We didn't do this step. The other nice thing is you can follow up with those people and say, guess what? We decided to make it. You can get the early bird discount. And then they're stoked because they had skin in the game, right? They were part of the creation process, and that also built your community quite a bit. Here's another one. And this was like, would this be helpful? I pretty much knew I was going to do that one. But this one down here, we really were not sure about running a Facebook ads workshop. And so we're thinking about running a workshop on running Facebook ads to get leads. Here's what we would cover. We knew the biggest objection was I have to spend a lot of money or hire someone. We can start with $5 a day. We can show you how to do it yourself. You can use these to build your email list and or Facebook group. If we do it, it'll be $97 and we'll run it if we get at least 20 yes responses. Are you in? And so we got a bunch of yeses. I think we ended up getting about 25 yeses, so we decided to do it, but we ended up selling over 50 of those once we started kicking in the promotion. So about half of the sales came from just literally running the yes test. And then the rest of the sales came from the actual content strategy, which was totally worth it. And then the people that bought the workshop or were already gonna buy the workshop on the early bird, they were just more excited about the workshop because of the additional social media and the promotion that we did. So we want to always run a yes test to confirm. And for the most part, this will eliminate a lot of just failed experiments in our business. And if you have a failed experiment on a workshop, I wouldn't sweat it too much. All that meant is that we didn't really meet them where they're at in the way that we thought we did. We tried to get them to where we are as opposed to going to where they were, which is really, really important when it comes to the workshop. The last thing that I am going to go over in this particular video is I'm going to talk through what to post, when to post, all of that. So I'm just scrolling through the workbook here to find this part so I can just pull it up and you can see it. So this is confirmations, morning of. Okay, I'm going to use a slide. I think that's just going to be a little bit easier. Although we do have examples. Sure, I can find this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to the implementation checklist for in the workbook, on workshops. And here's the implementation checklist. So we have our week one, plan and prepare. We have week two, set up and start marketing. And this part here, design your 2 week marketing plan. This is what I want to really focus on right now. So there's two parts to a workshop promotion. The first is the early bird promotion. And this is typically when we run it for 3 or 4 days. So we're going to send out an email, long form announcement. And a long form announcement is just like all of the details. Like, here's what it is, here's the agenda, here's how much it costs, register here, here's what you save. And then on social media, we'll do a hand raiser, like, we just launched this particular workshop, who wants the details? The next day, we're going to do a story post. And so this is maybe why we decided to do this. Maybe this is a time where we experienced a problem. Maybe it's a success story, just like some sort of story that captures people and like illustrates why it's important to come to this workshop. And that'll be a post and an email, and then we'll have, and if you like this, right, if you'd like to join us for the workshop, here's the how to do that. Then we're going to do a value post. So this is going to be a teaching post. And the teaching post is going to be something you pull out of the workshop. And it's going to, you want it to like shift a belief or make this feel doable to them. Just something really simple. Maybe it's a 5 minute video or a 10 minute video that gives them a little bit of a sneak peek on the content, but also actually helps them. And this demonstrates expertise, credibility, and also gives them like a little taste. And so if they want more of that, then they can join the workshop. And then we have a last chance early bird, so like that discount is ending. Then we'll give it a day or two, depending on if you're doing a 2 week or a 10-day promo period. And then we're going to do another story post, another hand raiser, a short form email, which is like, did you want to join us? Here's the link, like a couple sentences. We're going to do another value post. If we have a testimonial on this topic, we'll want to for sure do that. FAQ, if that makes sense. If people are asking a lot of questions, you can do an FAQ email, and then we do a last chance AM and last chance PM. So this last chance sequence is more involved. The early bird is to like just get the early birds, right, and create momentum. The last chances were really, really spending a little bit more time. And then in the middle of all of this, right, we always want to do outreach. We're going to get more sales if we do outreach instead of just letting the one-to-many communication do everything in our business. And so in the workbook, we have the examples and examples for every single one of these, and also some templates for most of them where that makes sense. So that makes it a little bit easier to implement. Yeah, and that's the 2 week marketing plan. So what we've done today in this video is we've gone over what's the difference between when do you choose paid workshops versus free workshops, what's the implementation timeline, how do we pick a good topic, and then when are we posting and emailing what type of things, and some detail in between that. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this has given you a good overview of when and how to use paid workshops in your business. If you like this and you want to go through the full workshop, it is about 2.5 hours. And we have all the examples, including like how to do the sales page and really a lot of detail. It's gonna make it really easier and faster for you to get your workshop off the ground. You can go ahead and put workshop below and we will make sure you get the details. That is an on-demand workshop, so you'll be able to watch it right away. If you're like, this is really helpful, how does this fit into my business? I want to encourage you to learn more about our What to Say So People Buy coaching program. The way that one works is it's a one-on-one / group coaching hybrid. And we focus on 3 things with each of our clients. Number one, our client journey. So that's where we're actually going to talk one-on-one on how does this fit into your overall business strategy. Number 2, we're going to make sure you have a weekly action plan so you can gain momentum. And number 3 is we're going to help you with what to say at each turn so people buy. That's the name of the coaching program, right? So if you're you need help with your title or your subtitle for your workshop, that would be something we would cover in this coaching program or help you with. If you want feedback on your emails or your sales page, we can help you with that in this coaching program. So if you would like to learn more about that, what we usually do is set up a time to chat with you, talk about your business and what's hard for you, and see if this is a good fit. So if you would like to learn more about that, just go ahead and comment coaching below or let me or Karen know, and we're happy to talk with you about that. I hope that this video is helpful for you and encouraging for you to launch a paid workshop as part of your business strategy. And I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.